Today we're going to talk about Akiba Maid Wars. Now we're not doing reaction because apparently channels are getting struck for reactions. They're getting copyright strikes. Now copyright strikes are things you do not play with. So instead we're going to just talk about this. If you want to check out the reaction, you could join the Patreon. Obviously copyright strikes it's not a joke. We don't play with those. All right, we already actually have one copyright strike on the channel because of To Your Eternity, which is another series that will only be on Patreon because obviously you don't want copyright strikes. That leads to your channel being deleted forever. Like no recovery, you're done. Everything that you've been working on is over. So instead, we're going to talk about Akiba Maid Wars. And it is wild. Now, like I said, it's on Patreon, so if you want to go check out our Patreon, there's a bunch of different series there, all of the seasonal stuff under the fresher tier, and then we also have a tier above that, which is for more exclusive stuff. Basically, the Patreon, they vote on specific series, like they vote for a mech series, they vote for a suspense psychological thriller series, a romance series, a fantasy series, you get what I'm saying? So they vote for those. Whatever wins, that's the series I check out. All up to you if you want to. If you don't want to, totally fine. I just want to talk about Akiba Maid Wars because this was insane. It opens up like, hey, 1985, we are introduced to this older maid and she's just going to work, right? She's just doing her maid thing, right? It's like, okay, this is the start of the Maid Wars, right? But you don't actually see it coming because you've got your older maid stepping out of the car. She encounters a younger maid. You're like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Oh, she gets lit the up. That's what happens. She gets lit the up. Out the gates, bro. This is a minute in, and we have a maid kill another maid. And that sets the tone for the series because that is more or less what it's about. And the OP is just more of this insanity, by the way. It's crazy. But we jump to 1999 and you've got this deer, what is the term? Something-eyed, for basically somebody that's like fresh to it and they're just all filled with hope, right? You've got this girl who wants to be a maid. She's like, oh, maids are cute. She shows up, she's so happy to be a maid. And there's also this other girl who's starting as a maid. She's 35, she's a bit older. We find out, you know, she's the one that f***ed shit up, man. They go over to confront the people over at the bunny maid place. And you could instantly see like, bro, this is low-key kind of like Yakuza vibes. In the Yakuza, like leaving, I don't know exactly where it happens or why it happens. I think it's usually like wanting to leave the Yakuza, or you make a up, they'll chop off one of your fingers. And they've got this one girl chopping off a pigtail. Just essentially, I guess kind of the same in the maid world. But they hand off this letter, and the letter is basically, F you guys. That's what it's essentially saying, F you guys. And then the blonde girl, the leader of these bunnies, starts slapping up the main character. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? And I guess the other one doesn't fucking like it because she caps her ass. Now, there's a lot of comedy in this series too. It's not just like action. It's not just moe kyun. It's also, that was cringe, I'm so sorry. But there's also comedy. Like for instance, her getting capped, she's just squirting out blood on the main character's maid outfit. She actually has a bib because they had ramen, but whatever, just squirting out blood. And it's just over the top violence. This is some like Tarantino violence. The episode ends with not our main character, but the other rookie just blasting everyone. Like, look at this shit. She's just lighting everybody up and she kills the entire group. It is crazy. I figured I would leave you all with a couple of quick reaction clips. No video footage because obviously copyright stuff, but hope you enjoy. Oh! This series is action-packed, funny. Honestly, I recommend you check it out because it's so weird. It's so weird. There's gonna be a ton of action in it. If you're down for like action, violence, a little bit of comedy, this might be a series for you. It's such an odd premise. Basically, these different maid cafes are like gangs, like Yakuza, like the mob, like gangs, like it's crazy. If you've seen Akiba Maid Wars, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. I really highly recommend that you check this one out because it is so weird. The OP just goes on to show more of this vibe that they can shift from like, oh, we've got guns, we're killing, to happy moe like maid cafe shit. there's such a tone shift. And you never know when it's gonna start. You never know when, out of nowhere, somebody's gonna get capped. And even in episode 2, just more of the same shit. It is wild, over the top, and again, I highly recommend it. Let me know what you thought about episode 1. And any future episodes, you can let me know down in the comments below this video. Again, it's not a series we're gonna be doing reactions to because copyright strikes, that is not something you f with ever. Some channels can get away with it, I guess maybe because their stuff isn't being shown and maybe they have like location blocking. They're like geolocation blocking, so it's not being shown in Japan, so they just haven't been found. Maybe they will get found, and though I'm hoping they don't, I'm hoping that no one else gets copyright strikes for this. But you'll notice there's not a lot of reactions to this series because of those copyright strikes I mentioned. With that said, as always, if you enjoyed the video, then like the video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss another one. And until next time, make sure you all keep it fresh. Peace.